All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maddie here. Today we have another deck showcase. We're going to be playing on the ranked ladder. Today we're actually playing Hydreigon. And this is going to be an updated, sort of newer version of Hydreigon. This new strategy that I think has really been becoming extremely common, at least on the ranked ladder, from what I've heard, from what I've seen. I haven't played ranked in a couple of days just because the tournament was this past weekend and I've been busy. But in my ranked experience that I have had, this is definitely a very popular new strategy, and I wanted to showcase it specifically because of what happened at our tournament this past weekend and the dominance of Suicune and Greninja. This is going to be Hydreigon with Mega Absol, but we are changing the deck around a little bit. Instead of Rocky Helmets, we're playing Giant Capes, and we've actually included an INDEEDEE EX, which is going to help us heal up the damage that Hydreigon oftentimes does to itself. Now, the whole idea of this particular strategy is to keep Hydreigon alive for 2 attacks at least, and I think the whole idea here is against Suicune and Greninja specifically. Most of the time they're hitting for, 100, 120 damage max. So with the Giant Cape Hydreigon and the healing of INDEEDEE, we are able to actually attack and then live an attack and then attack again. And this is a really big deal because if we do get multiple attacks off with a single Hydreigon, it's going to, massively increase our opportunity to beat Suicune and Greninja in that matchup, right? We also have one Chingling because Chingling Lock, of course, is really, really strong. Double Copycat, these are all cards that are really, really good into the Suicune matchup. And yes, Suicune dominated the tournament and it is definitely dominating the metagame right now, but we got to understand there's definitely a lot more ways to counter Suicune and Greninja, at least right now, than we've seen before. Keep in mind, this deck is built specifically to do well into that matchup, but you can still lose. It's not a guaranteed win rate or anything. And Hydreigon is still a high roll deck. I would say it's probably the number 2 deck right now. Strong sort of high roll strategies. Don't really care too much about matchups. Hydreigon has always kind of been like that. It's just either going to be extremely strong or extremely not strong, depending on how the cards fall. So this video is going to be very interesting. We're not going to pick and choose content or anything. We're just going to record. And hopefully we can showcase the deck pretty well. But yeah, double Dino. We are playing 1 Zweilous, 1 Chingling, 1 INDEEDEE, 1 Mega Absol, 2 Giant Cape, 2 Pokeball, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Research, 2 Copycat, and then 1 copy of Giovanni. And this is definitely becoming more popular in Hydreigon decks. This allows Hydreigon to hit for 140 damage, which of course is going to KO a Suicune at full HP if they do not have Giant Cape. So yeah, I really like the list. I've been seeing it a ton, and I think it's a really, really smart way to maybe boost your win rate into Suicune specifically. However, in this video, we're likely going to lose to Suicune probably multiple times. I have not played ranked a lot. We've been falling a ton here. Down to rank 1,712. So we've actually fallen like over 1,000 places in the last couple of days. That's what happens when you just don't have time to play ranked for a couple of days. But anyway, let's hop right into it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to register for the Pocket Mans Pocket Tournament number 11 this weekend, Saturday. I don't know the day. Saturday, I think it's the 6th at noontime Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. Link to register down in the description below. Let's dive right into it. Honestly, we could lose every single game in this video. It's no way of knowing it. Hydreigon isn't the most consistent deck in the world, to be fair, but it is incredibly powerful if you draw the right cards. We all know how Hydreigon works. Yeah, I've seen this a lot on ranked, but not too many in tournaments as of lately. There hasn't been as many online tournaments during the weekday here. We are going first, and we are probably going against Suicune here. However, we lead INDEEDEE, which is kind of rough, right? And this is always the downside of when you play INDEEDEE is sometimes you lead with it and it's not a Pokemon you ever really want in the active spot. But we're going to try our best here. We do have the Giovanni in hand. We have Giant Cape. We have Research in hand. And there's the Hydreigon draw right off the bat. So I'm just going to research here immediately. And like I said, maybe we get lucky, maybe not, but we're going to just try our best. Okay, our hand is very, very bad. As bad as a hand as possibly could be. No Pokeballs, no other basics, leading INDEEDEE going first. Yeah, great start to the video. As unlucky as humanly possible, right? No Chingling lead, no Dino lead. We do have Rare Candy Hydreigon, so if we were to have led Dino, we would have been in a good spot. But we see the double Suicunes come down. And yeah, literally, I mean, let's see what we top deck here. It is a Pokeball, but what is this Pokeball going to be? If it's not a Dino, we're not going to be very happy about it. It is. So this is probably going to end up being okay, at least, I would hope. Yeah, so I'm going to attach to the Dino here this turn, and we're hopefully just going to tank a hit with this INDEEDEE, and then maybe next turn 1-hit KO with Hydreigon. So we might still be able to accurately reflect the strength of this deck potentially in this matchup here. But let's see what our opponent does. We're playing Eye Patch. which is funny. And he does get the Froakie down. Now, we don't really know whether or not he's playing, double Greninja EX or double Water Shuriken Greninja. I would say the latter is probably the worst matchup here, but he's probably going to attach to the active if we don't see a Giant Cape here. That actually is going to be phenomenal for us. And we see the INDEEDEE, but we don't care about the INDEEDEE because we built our deck to 1 KO with Giovanni. And yeah, okay, perfect. So we're actually still in a pretty good position, which is kind of a unique thing to say at this point. Now, and a copycat. Wow, okay, so I really like this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to rare candy into the Hydreigon. And now we have the decision, right, of do we want to heal the INDEEDEE or the Hydreigon this turn? If I'm being entirely honest with you, I don't think it matters because he doesn't have any energies to attach this turn. So what I am probably going to do is use the INDEEDEE on the Hydreigon. I think that's probably a little bit more valuable. And I'm going to play the Giovanni here this turn. So here's how this works. Giovanni allows us to hit for 140, which is pretty cool. We'll attach to INDEEDEE. We'll retreat. And I'm not going to heal the INDEEDEE itself. I'm just going to retreat into Hydreigon. And we're at 170 HP, by the way, right, with Giant Cape. Hydreigon is a crazy Pokemon. Now we're going to roar in unison. We take 30 damage, but INDEEDEE can heal 20 of that damage, right, which is pretty cool. So now we're priming to hit for 130 or 140 damage with Giovanni, and we're still sitting at 160 HP. So that's the inherent strength here of Hydreigon, and this is sort of what we're building our deck to be able to do here, right, which is definitely pretty cool. Next turn, we could copycat and draw, a number of other cards here, but because he had to commit energies to the active, what I'm assuming he probably is playing is double Water Shuriken, just because Suicune typically acts as the primary attacker in that particular scenario. Now, he could Cyrus up the INDEEDEE to stall for a turn, especially because he's probably playing at least 1 or maybe 2 copies of Cyrus in his deck list. That would be somewhat annoying. It's not really the end of the world if that happens. He is going to do that. Of course he is. So that's 1 Cyrus down. We can, I think at this point, expect that he's probably playing double Cyrus, which is, again, totally fine here, right? And he is going to rare candy. So what is he rare candying into here? I'm curious. Probably Water Shuriken. Yes. Okay. No problemo here, although it's not the best thing in the world. Now you got to keep in mind we do still have Chingling in the deck for some scenarios like this, but we also potentially have certain scenarios where of course Mega Absol could come into play, right? And there's the Mega Absol. So I think at this point we have a couple of options, right? I am going to bench this even though it's going to increase the damage that Suicune's going to be able to do to us, and I'm just going to go ahead and copycat. So what I'm kind of thinking of here, potentially. Okay, so we get the Zweilous Pokeball in Hydreigon. Okay, so here's what we're going to do here. And we top deck the Dino. All right, this is actually kind of interesting. We did get rid of our 1 Cyrus in the deck. We could go into Hydreigon, but we can't attack this turn. We can heal, go to 160. He only is able to hit us for 120 max, unless we see a second, whatever the scenario would be. Unless you see a second Rare Candy Greninja, right? And he has 8 cards in deck. So we could go in, heal, go to 160, not do anything, which could be interesting, but the Mega Absol is here, and we have to be cognizant of that, right? So I'm going to attach to it. Well, I want to retreat, too. I maybe even shouldn't have benched the Absol now that I think about it. I'm going to just retreat, and I'm going to go into Hydreigon here. I think this is probably fine. And then I'm going to heal it up. He already is down 1 Cyrus, so we have to also be cognizant of that. Now he can ping the Mega Absol and get that set up. So what I'm going to do is roar in unison to end my turn. And I'm going to go down to 130 HP, but he shouldn't be able to hit for 130 damage or 140 unless he gets a second Water Shuriken, which would be really not ideal if that does happen. But next turn we can threaten by attacking, right? And then, potentially just be fine because we could, go into a second Dino if we draw here. Or he could heal. He could Irida after we attack him. We'll have to wait and see, basically. He does, okay, so he does research into the second Greninja, which is kind of worst case scenario because he's going to KO our active. Okay, so this is not what we wanted at all, which is definitely unfortunate. Okay, so benching the Mega Absol here was probably a mistake, and he does go ahead and he attaches the Giant Cape. Okay, so he ends up kind of getting every single card he needed to this turn. Double Greninja is unfortunate. On the bright side, though, well, no, because then we just lose to Cyrus. Okay, so we probably... Yeah, it's tough because he brought up the INDEEDEE, right? If we didn't lead INDEEDEE, it would never have had any damage onto it, and it wouldn't have really been an issue. It's crazy, though, that he did get double Water Shuriken Greninja out this turn, and then he stalled for a turn. So, I mean, he kind of had, the capability of doing everything he wanted to do there. But here's what we're going to do. I guess, is hopefully, well, can we have a second giant cape in deck, and there's our Cyrus. So I don't want to bench the Dino, I don't think, because it's not really going to help us with anything. So I think what we have to do is just take the damage here and hope that INDEEDEE works, or hope that he doesn't have Cyrus, and then we can just sort of try to 2-hit KO, but then he might have Irida. It's not a great strategy, but honestly, it's kind of our only strategy. In fact, we're not even going to be able to KO because he also has INDEEDEE, so I think we're kind of cooked here. I don't think there's any opportunity for us to win because he got the double Greninja that turn. And that is definitely unfortunate. Yeah, okay, he has Cyrus anyway. Okay, so there's nothing we could have done there. In a different world where we don't lead INDEEDEE, we can just sort of KO on the second turn instead of the third turn, or, you know, that turn if we don't bench Mega Absol, which kind of coincidentally was probably a misplay, we would have been able to attack again with Hydreigon, but then we wouldn't have really had anything to lead with or go into the following turn, because we would have gone down to the Greninja pings anyway, right? So it's kind of a difficult scenario for sure. We definitely, I don't know if it really would have mattered. I think we just kind of got a little unfortunate in the early game, and we didn't necessarily have enough pacing to kind of finish the game, right? If we had drawn into the second Dino earlier, we could have benched that and got that set up, because even if we get KO'd, you know, then we can kind of go from there. But the thing is that if you're going first, especially on like leading a Pokemon that you never want to attach to, like INDEEDEE, then you're never really able to set up Absol. He also had the Cyrus play to stall for a turn, right? So there's a couple of factors that were very unfortunate that game. But it did lead off. It started pretty cool, right? I mean, the KO on the, we're going first leading INDEEDEE again. Okay, it doesn't really get any worse, I suppose. What are the odds of going first and then leading? We're playing the mirror match into Chingling. Yeah, I don't think it gets any worse than what we're seeing right here. I'm not gonna lie. We draw a Dino here, Dino, whatever people want to call it. I'm just gonna bench it, and then I guess we'll just pass. It's crazy to me that we're just leading INDEEDEE, because it's gonna take damage. Now we can't heal off the jingly noise damage like forever, but absolutely insane to lead INDEEDEE and go first both games. Literally the first two games that we press record is insane. And our opponent goes second with Chingling Lock, and he can get the Mega Absol attachment. So, I mean, literally, it doesn't get any worse. I wonder if he's playing INDEEDEE. We see the double Dino bench here. He only has 2 cards in hand, so we got to be careful. Okay, he's playing the Rocky Helmet version. Okay, that's totally fine. And he does lead Copycat. Okay, all right. So we clearly are on the bad side of the luck train today. Our opponents seem to be a bit more lucky than we are. We're now down. Oh, and we're getting red carded, which is cool. Our hand wasn't very good anyway, but we did have a Copycat. That's a Cyrus, another Copycat, and a Hydreigon. Not super useful cards there, I'll be honest, but maybe our opponent doesn't have all the cards he needs either. I mean, he can just go into Absol, which is scary, but Giovanni. Not very useful. So let's just do this. Again, we're going first and leading INDEEDEE, so coincidentally, we're going to be behind double energy somehow, 2 games in a row. And I'm going to just be forced to Copycat here because none of these cards are going to be that useful to me. So no reason in retreating, I don't think, right now. The Chingling comes down, so maybe I actually do want to retreat, but then we take Rocky Helmet damage, which is uniquely bad. And then we try to Hydreigon Cyrus, which isn't very useful. So I guess I am just going to pass. If he goes into Mega Absol here, maybe we can top deck a Rare Candy. Or if he has Rare Candy Hydreigon, I think we just lose the game anyway, because there's no way around that. So, hey, literally nothing we can do here. I'm trying to showcase INDEEDEE, but you know what? What are the odds that... How many basics are we playing in the deck? We're playing 5 basics. So we go first and lead INDEEDEE 2 games in a row. He attaches to the Dino. I wonder if he has Rare Candy. Double Rocky Helmet does come down, though, which is pretty cool for him. Okay. So no Hydreigon is interesting, at least. The Rocky Helmet on the Chingling does kind of halt our Chingling stuff a little bit here, which is unfortunate. I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. I could go into my Hydreigon and then hit, but I don't have a giant cape, and I'm kind of forced to heal myself with INDEEDEE here. So I don't really want to do that. I am going to just evolve Hydreigon in case... Oh, I can't, right, because we're on the Chingling lock. Okay, wonderful. That's incredible. I don't think it's really worth going into the Dino, so I think we're just going to wait. I think we're in worst case scenario mode right now. I don't think it could get possibly any worse than what we're seeing right now. Okay, our opponent draws into the research. We're now -8 card advantage. And here comes the Hydreigon. Yeah, I don't think it's possible. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I think we're just being given the worst case possible board state to start both of these games here, which is really tough. Our opponent literally has only 4 cards in deck, and we have 12 for reference. So it's not looking very good for us. He does go into Hydreigon here. We are going to be able to reverse KO with our Hydreigon, which is pretty cool. But then we're not playing Mars in the deck, so realistically, he's just going to go ahead and, you know, probably just evolve a second Hydreigon, and then there's really nothing we can do, which is tough. And our INDEEDEE going down means that a lot of the value of our deck list in this particular matchup in the head-to-head is lost, right? Because we don't get the healing. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's see what we can do here. We'll go into our Hydreigon, but it's a lot more sketchy because we're going to get reverse KO'd unless we draw a Giant Cape here. No, we will anyway because we're going to take 50 because he's got Rocky Helmet. Okay, so Pokeball for the second Dino. It's tough. But anyway, I mean, we're going to do what we have to do. We weren't given a very good scenario for this game. Back-to-back games. Going first, leading INDEEDEE, both games is actually incredible. The odds of him having second Hydreigon here are very, very high. And even if he doesn't, this Absol is just going to absolutely like tear us apart. And there's nothing we can do about it because we don't have INDEEDEE to heal or anything. So I'm pretty sure it's like literally impossible for us to win this game unless, yeah. Because we don't have Hydreigon or Rare Candy in hand, so I'm pretty sure we would need a... Oh, he just researched again. Okay. 1 card in deck to 10 is pretty rough. Being down double energies, leading INDEEDEE going first. Listen. Okay, we're trying to record for YouTube, and I'm trying to illustrate this deck, okay? It's not always going to go the way you want it to go, okay? But it is a proven fact that our build here for this deck is definitely beneficial into this weekend matchup, 100%. But there's nothing you can do when you play high roll and you get very unlucky, right? I mean, come on. That's the game. That's the game. It wouldn't be a gameplay, a Pocket Meds gameplay video in ranked if we weren't just getting ridiculously unlucky the whole video. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. That's what it is. That's what we do here on the channel. I just show you what it's like to be more unlucky than anything else. We notoriously have bad luck in ranked, but you know what? I don't really care losing. I'm not going to lie, because no matter what deck you're playing, you're going to brick some games and you're going to lose. You're going to lose sometimes. So it's better to just show that, I suppose, than just pretend like I win every single game. Yeah, anyway, let's see where this game goes. We are going second, so that's an improvement. And we're leading. Oh no, we have Chingling. I was like, we're leading INDEEDEE again somehow. Yeah, it looks like we're in the mirror matchup here. Going second is interesting, but we do have Chingling, Pokeball, Rare Candy, Research, and INDEEDEE in hand. So immediately off to sort of a better start here. He just passes. I think he's just really hoping that we don't Chingling lock him here, but we are going to, of course. Mega Absol here, and then this should be, I think, guaranteed to be a Dino, which is cool. Yeah. So that's kind of perfect. This is a perfect kind of scenario here. We can just bench this, bench this, bench this, because why not? I probably don't even need to bench the INDEEDEE here, but we will. I'm going to attach to Absol, and I'm going to research. Okay. We might be able to actually showcase this high roll deck performing as a high roll deck, which is cool. And let's Chingling lock here, and we should be able to get a nice copycat off next turn, unless we are able to top deck a Hydreigon. That would be even better, but the Chingling lock here should go into pretty solid effect. If he doesn't bench another basic, we can just go into Mega Absol. Okay. You still get KO'd by Absol. Did he brick? He bricked. All right. GG. That's listen, that's what Pokemon Pocket is like sometimes, right? This is, I feel like I'm properly illustrating what it's like to be on both sides of the spectrum. You know what? When you're playing Hydreigon, you can change around your deck a little bit. You can play the INDEEDEEs. Like, it's going to be really nice for certain scenarios. We showcase the Giovanni stuff pretty well, I think. But INDEEDEE's definitely not a Pokemon you want ever in the active spot. And it's tough, too, because Suicune oftentimes does play INDEEDEE themselves, right? So they always have the opportunity to lead INDEEDEE as well, which is going to put them behind pretty significantly. But Rare Candy, Greninja, Cyrus, Ping, stalling is always going to be a valuable factor. In fact, we actually saw the player who won the Pocket Meds tournament this past weekend win the second game, I think, of the grand finals by doing that. He was actually behind. He went in first, led INDEEDEE, and he did the same thing where he pinged Cyrus, stalled for a turn, and was able to kind of turn the game around. But anyway, going first again, which typically isn't bad for Hydreigon, but we are leading Absol. Okay. All right. You would hope that going first, you would lead either Chingling or Dino, because it's 3 out of our 5 basics, but No, that's not how it works. We are playing against Decidueye, but you know, we are weak to grass, so that's a bit scary, especially leading Mega Absol. It's unbelievable how unfortunate that really is. Because like think about it, right? If we had just led like anything else, like other than INDEEDEE, you know what I mean? Think about what the position we would possibly be in right now. It'd be a completely different position. We top deck a Hydreigon and then it'd be like GG, but now we're just going to go first and lead Mega Absol into Decidueye. I don't know if it gets any worse than that, I'll be honest. He's obviously just going to hit the active, and it's for weakness, so it's for 30, and he's definitely just going to Rare Candy Evolve next turn, which is great. So I think what we have to do here is attach, and it doesn't matter if we retreat or not, really. Because Decidueye is going to hit us for the same amount regardless, so I guess we just don't even retreat. And then I think we just automatically lose because he's going to go second turn to Decidueye, and we have no way of protecting Absol because we led with it. So yeah, there we go. That's the game. I love it. I actually do love it. I guess we could have gone out of the active to not get hit for weakness here, but we get 2 KO'd regardless, so it genuinely doesn't matter. Like the fact that we went first, led Mega Absol into Decidueye is, quite frankly, hilarious. It really is one of the funnier things that I've ever seen. There's literally there's no way around it. There's absolutely nothing that could have ever been done other than potentially you know, the Chingling lock, but we didn't draw into Chingling. Look at his hand though. He had Rare Candy, he had double Rare Candy, double Decidueye, double Dartrix. So there it is. Hey, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're showcasing the true ranked experience here. Imagine if we like led Chingling and then just went like turn 2 Hydreigon KO'd. In a perfect world, yes, that's what would have happened there. But hey, I've been seeing a little bit more Decidueye on the ranked ladder, which I do like as well. I think Decidueye is definitely smart to play because Mega Absol's still floating around. We're only playing 1 in the deck, so you know, theoretically, you would never even like bench Mega Decidueye in that matchup, like ever. There would never be a reason to, or preferably you wouldn't lead with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what else can we say? What can we say? If you play this, if anyone's played Hydreigon, I would love to know if you're more unlucky than I am, because 3 out of these 4 games have been a bit like literally worst case scenarios. Like I don't know if it could literally get any worse than any of this. I guess game 1 could have gone either way. We ended up benching the Absol, but you know what? It is what it is. All right, we're going second. In the mirror here is interesting. Our hand is interesting as well. Going second is scary. Bothing in the mirror when we're leading Dino or Mega Absol. I guess we probably just want to lead Dino because I don't think really leading Mega Absol is ever going to be that good. I guess we're going second, but the turn... Okay, so it's Crobat Absol. That's fine. I don't mind it. I was going to say I was a little bit afraid, but now, I mean, going first, it's still scary because he can still Rare Candy Crobat, turn 2 KOs, right? Which is like obviously not ideal. So if we could draw into, yeah, there's the Nihilego. So he's got 4 cards in hand. We'll probably end up Copycat. Probably bench Absol and Copycat. Okay, so he starts with Pokeball triple basics. Okay, what do we draw here? This is Wylos, which isn't going to be very helpful. So I think what we are forced to do here is probably just bench Absol and then Copycat. Because what we need here is Chingling, potentially, or another series of Pokemon. Okay, we don't get any of that. I'm going to attach to Absol here, and hopefully he doesn't go turn 2 Rare Candy Crobat going first. But you know he's going to, because this is a Pocket Mads gameplay video. So, of course, it has to go right for our opponent, right? It always does. There's no way around that. I mean, he plays double Crobat, double Rare Candy in this deck list, so... I mean, it's pretty likely that he does do it. Absol comes down. We did attach to our Absol, which is fine. Crobat is really, really good. It's also a high roll. It's basically a high roll deck. Like, it's strong going first, just like Hydreigon. He attaches to Absol, so that's a good sign for us. We probably should have attached to Dino. No, there's no... Come on. There's no way we should have attached to the Dino. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna research here. Maybe just get lucky and draw into something. Cape is interesting. We got to be very cognizant of bringing up Mega Absol, specifically because of varying factors. But So if we go Xylos, that's 90, and then if we go Cape, that's 110. Crobat, we actually should still live. Even if he goes Crobat with one Nihilego on the bench, right? And I don't think the Cape's going to be that useful on Absol. So I think we just do that. I think I'm going to do that. And I can get some chip damage off as well here. Actually, should I not evolve the active? I probably shouldn't evolve the active. I should probably just attach. But we want to, though, because if we research into... That's fine. We're not going to get an attack off this turn, but I will just do this. And I'm going to attach this one to just this dino, I guess. And yeah, we're going to research next turn and hope we draw into a Hydreigon, I guess, and hope that he doesn't go Rare Candy this turn. No Chingling, though. In various different games where Chingling would be useful. He does top deck the Rare Candy, which is like, again, the one thing we kind of didn't want here. But it's not the end of the world because we're still living, I'm pretty sure. So he does 70 and then we tick for 20. Yeah. Okay. So we can get one attack off here on the Crobat as long as we can draw into a Hydreigon. If we can, that is. We do. Okay, cool. Sure. This works. We're taking a little bit of damage here because we don't have INDEEDEE, but we do get rid of the poison, which is nice. So we're going to get some damage off on the Crobat. The issue, I think, with all of this is going to come down to whether or not we draw into the second Hydreigon, but it's somewhat likely that we do because we can always go into Mega Absol, finish off the KO here. We do take one hit from his Absol, but then, well, yeah, do we want that? Because if he goes Poison Barb on this Absol, we can't really do that. But I think the Cape ended up being kind of clutch because we would have gotten KO'd if we didn't. But we do have Rare Candy and, well, yeah, it's really not still ideal. I don't want to go into this Absol. We're down double. I want him to research and then just pass. That'd be ideal so that we could copycat for something. If we top deck Hydreigon and we just KO it with Hydreigon, that would be ideal as well. But no INDEEDEE, so it's a little bit scary. If we draw into like Cape INDEEDEE at some point, then this Mega Absol will be a little bit more safe. And he doesn't have Poison Barb yet. So that's another factor. He's actually just going to retreat, which is a absolutely insane play from him. I'm not going to lie. I guess that's not a bad play, but that seems to be like that's a crazy play to me because he's going to probably discard Giovanni, I would imagine. I would think. You know, he takes the Copycat. I wonder, did they play healing in this deck? I don't know if they would really ever play a healing card. Maybe they play something like that. I don't really know, but I think it's safe now to just go into Absol and then Giovanni hit. So why don't we just do that? Maybe that's the incorrect play, but I would rather do this than, yeah. And I'm going to cape this Absol. Okay, so we're going to hit for 90 here, which sets up a 2-hit KO, and all we need is like a Cyrus at some point to win this game. We only have 7 cards in deck, so we'll just do this. And then we'll discard a supporter card. And we have a Rare Candy in hand, so really all we have to do is just draw. We're playing off the top deck now. We're down all of our researches and whatnot. He has double Cyrus in hand, which is cool. We love that for us. So I think he's kind of waiting to draw into, like, I don't even know, like Poison Barb or whatever. We have double Pokeball in our deck. So if we draw Pokeball, we have INDEEDEE, Chingling, and double Pokeball in our deck still. And a Cyrus, and a Cape, and a Hydreigon. So all of that would be valuable here. But we're going to take 90 damage regardless. But the thing is, we can just retreat if we really wanted to. But do we want to, I guess is the question. He does have Poison Barb. This doesn't matter. Because he's just going to hit us and poison us. So he's going to do... This is 90. Yeah, and we tick to 100. So we're going to be kind of forced to retreat, or else we get KO'd, right? And the Hydreigon top deck is absolutely out of this world. So that's the play. 'Tis the play that we're going to do here. And I guess we'll just attach Absol and retreat. So the poison goes down now, and then we'll KO with Hydreigon. And then I think the Poison Barb might end up actually mattering for him, but I don't know if he... Yeah, unless he goes like second Rare Candy Crobat, like I think we're going to be fine here. So we'll just KO. And then this puts us at 100, but then we'll tick at the end of the turn for another 20, and then we'll go down. But he has to attack us with Absol here, and if he does, then we go into our Absol and KO him. So he's kind of in a pinch regardless. We've taken 2 prizes at this point as well, so I feel like we're in a pretty decent position. INDEEDEE has not even seen any play at all, like in this video. I think it happened like once, but not ideal. And yeah, and actually if he goes Crobat here, we don't get KO'd at the end of the turn, which is hilarious because we're at 100 HP. but we would KO ourselves, right? He's going to X speed into what? What is he doing? He has to go into Absol, but he gets KO'd if he does. All right. Does he have a healing card? Does he run PCL? I would be kind of surprised if he ran a Pokemon Center Lady, but maybe he would. Who knows? He does not. Okay. All right, GG. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. That game, at least. Listen, I like this build a lot. It's hard to illustrate like the strengths of this deck in such a short time frame, but I do think that this build is like specifically really good in a lot of different scenarios. And there's Chingling, which is great. But yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to play Hydreigon, and I think Hydreigon in general is strong. But at the end of the day, you know, you're kind of like, at least this build is meant to do well into Suicune Greninja. You just have to make sure you don't go first and lead INDEEDEE, right? That's obviously not going to help you in any matchup. It doesn't matter how you build your deck, but yeah, there's definitely a world where you know, you don't have to waste like double energies, double turns of attachments at the beginning of the game, where you know, the INDEEDEE on the bench and the Giant Capes are definitely going to help you a ton in the Suicune matchup. So let's play one more game. I suspect at some point we'll get another Suicune matchup, because I would like to maybe get a more accurate illustration of like what that matchup is like whenever you don't have like a worst case scenario board state to deal with. But I'm having fun regardless. I'm not someone who's like I play ranked because it's fun, but I'm not like, I'm never going to play enough games to be top 100 or whatever. So I don't really care what my rank is, you know. And at this point, the rank season's so short, you know, you're kind of just playing whatever you think's fun. Looks like the mirror match here. And again, we're going first, leading Absol. Okay. All right. The luck is tremendously poor. He leads INDEEDEE though, so at least we get some consolation there, which is pretty funny. Okay, Pokeball. Looks like we're probably just going to copycat right off the rip though, unless this is a Dino. It's not. Okay, so yeah, we are just going to copycat and see 4 new cards here. The Chingling is going to be really nice, because this is like, he is playing this list that I'm talking about in today's video, which is going to be Hydreigon and INDEEDEE and whatnot. We get almost the exact same hand, which is hilarious. But he's going to waste an energy here, and then we can just retreat, go into Chingling, and we're not in that bad of a spot, because he's not going to rare candy, of course, this turn. So we should be okay. Should be okay. I mean, maybe not, but you would hope that the Chingling lock helps here. He researches, so if he keeps a big hand size, we might just copycat again. But let's see how many basics he's got. Looks like maybe just one. Just one. Okay, that's a 5-card hand there, and we do top deck the Dino, which is awesome. So, yeah, we're going to have to just attach and retreat, but I am going to go into Chingling to stop the item lock, and we're going to get some damage off from the INDEEDEE. But we saw this the other game, right, where he can heal himself, whatnot, but then he's going to be limiting his ability to set anything else up, right? So I do think Copycat is still correct here. I know we do have Rare Candy Hydreigon in hand, so kind of getting rid of those cards feels bad, but we have time here, you know, and realistically, it's pretty likely we're going to draw into the same cards again, right? As we see right here. We do want our own INDEEDEE. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So I wonder, though, I actually don't really know the interaction specifically between Hydreigons and Rare Candies and INDEEDEEs or whatnot. But I am just going to attach this first one to our Dino. Because if we KO this INDEEDEE, the game is effectively over, right? And he is not going to be able to rare candy this turn. So we're KOing something next turn. That's the important part. And we do have a 2-card advantage here. We have 8 cards in the deck after a couple of turns. Down double copycats, but we do have double research in our deck, which is definitely valuable. So the Chingling lock here going to come in handy. It's nice to kind of see a plan finally come together. The luck at the beginning of this video was crazy. It's so bad. But that's what it's like when I play ranked. You know what I mean? It's no. Oh, the leap over Absol is actually kind of crazy. Okay, so I like that. Insane that I think he either top decked that or something. But either way, it was kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie. We don't play leap over Absol in the deck. We are electing to play Chingling, but he retreats into it. Okay, so this is all fine and dandy, I think. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to attach this cape to Absol. We could keep the Chingling lock going, but now that he retreated out of INDEEDEE, it probably isn't going to matter that much. Also, we're going to live a hit from Hydreigon, which is the main benefit here, right? So let's attach to Dino, and we'll rare candy into Hydreigon. We could actually just wait another turn, but then we get hit with Leap over Absol, and I don't want him to like hit one of our bench Pokemon, and then we're in a bad spot. So we do have to kind of press the issue here. If he goes rare candy and then hits us back, like, it is what it is, right? It really is. So the Chingling Lock kind of worked for a turn, maybe not. It's crazy that he just drew him to leap over Absol because he's kind of forcing us to do something this turn. But we're going to do what he wants to do, and he's probably going to do it to us next turn anyway. We're just going to hit here, and our Hydreigon's at 160. So we're going to be able to live an attack, but we are going to be able to get another attack off on the Hydreigon, which is a big deal. And the same thing's going to happen for him as well, but it's all good because we can just spend that turn attached to Absol and then kind of go from there. And we got rid of his leap over Absol, which is important, right? Probably to some degree. He might not even have Rare Candy Hydreigon, but of course, yeah, he does. You know, the one thing I will say about Hydreigon is that the deck does always have the combo somehow. I don't know how or why, but they always do. But yeah, he's going to be in the exact same spot. He's going to go down to 160. We're going to hit him, and then he's just going to, like, it's going to be the inverse effect, right? But what's going to happen eventually, though, is that... Well, actually, let me think about it. I actually don't know how this is going to play out, but we really don't have any other option. So whether this works out in our favor or not, he's going to copycat the one card. That's brutal. I don't know what was in his hand there, but crazy. What do we have left in the deck? We have double research. Okay. All right. He has to attach to the INDEEDEE, which is crazy, but yeah, we're going to do this. Wait, hold on here. I need to think. So if we set up Hydreigon and we attack, he goes down to 130. He can attack us. But I think he's going to be at 1 HP or 10 HP, right? Which means that even after INDEEDEE he'll KO himself. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case here. So I think we still, unless my math is completely off. I'm not very experienced here with this deck, as you guys might tell. But we're going to go down to 20. And then we're going to get the second attack here, or get the first attack off. Or maybe he'll be at 20? No. Oh, he will be at 20. Okay, my math was off then. RIP the math. It's okay, we can just go into Chingling. That is pretty funny, though. I'm trying to think. Imagine if we top deck a Giovanni, we can KO with Chingling. That would be super cool if we could do that. He does research off the bat. I mean, the Chingling Lock, though, will effectively force him to KO himself, right? Because he'll go down to 10. Because he goes down to 20, we ping, he goes down to 10, and then even after the INDEEDEE, he would KO himself with when he roar in unison. So I think it works out. My math was wrong, but I think it ended up working out. I think. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows? Because I have no idea. It looks like my opponent is just sort of like, it's like, what are we doing? The mirror matchup here is really, really funny. But yeah, it's like, you'll notice that we've hit somebody playing the same strategy, and it's because I think this is actually a really smart strategy for Hydreigon, specifically in a metagame right now where there's a ton of Suicune. That's the whole point of this video, if you guys haven't got it at this point. Playing high roll Hydreigon, he does get Mega Absol down here. Now, what I'm curious is that, and he is, yeah, okay, he's just going to go ahead and KO us this way, which is fine. But we're technically a turn ahead here, right? Is the whole concept. Because we're going to attach to Absol, Chingling, and then he can attach Absol, but then he would KO himself, right? So I feel like we're in a fine spot. What we also want to do is draw into the second Dino, if we can. Or a research. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So we're going to hit for 10, and then even the INDEEDEE is not going to save him. Oh, yeah, this is perfect. Perfect. And then we'll Chingling lock him here. He's down both Pokeballs, though, so it's not really that relevant. But now, unless he plays like an additional healing card like Pokemon Center Lady, then he's just going to go down to a Roar in Unison, which is a pretty funny place for him to be in. He might not even do it this turn, right? But then he's still in the same spot because we can keep the Chingling lock. He's going to attach Absol here. Cape the Absol. All right. We're in the same position we were before. This is fine. The Giovanni is hilarious. But I think we just sort of do the same. Do we just go into our Hydreigon? I guess we can, right? Because Absol can't KO it. So that's got to be the move, right? That's got to be the move. Because we'll be at 160. Do we have any? The Cyrus is still in the deck, which is really funny because we're going to have it. Okay. So yeah, let's do this. I think this worked out. I think we're just ahead because he didn't bend to Dino that turn. So Although we don't have Cape, but that's fine. Yeah, he's going to concede. Okay, that's how I thought that was going to go, but I wasn't necessarily sure. Our opponent just kept playing, and I was like, is it going to work out for us, or are we on the bad side of things? But yeah, it's a fun deck. I really do like this this way to play Hydreigon, and I honestly would recommend it. I still think Suicune's around a ton. Just don't get super unlucky like we did in this video. We broke even anyway, so when you go and break even, nothing really matters, right? What were we, like 3-3 in this video? What are you gonna do? I mean, what can you do, right? That's how ranked works regardless. You know, some unlucky games, some one really lucky game, 3 unlucky games, and then 2 sort of in the middle games, right? But that's ranked for you. Actually, we climbed a little bit, a couple points there. But no, I really like this deck. I would heavily recommend it. Even though we got stomped by Suicune early in the video, just don't go first and lead INDEEDEE, because that's going to make everything very difficult. But theoretically speaking, you know, the Giant Capes, the INDEEDEE is a really, really strong combo. It allows you to attack with Hydreigon more than once, and that is a recipe for winning games. Trust me, it's incredibly strong. And then hopefully at some point in the game, you can commit an energy to an Absol so that you have it at the end, right? That's the whole concept. The only times where that doesn't happen is if you go first and lead INDEEDEE, which, to be honest, I think it happened twice in this video, but it doesn't happen very often. Like, the probability of that's very low. You can lead Chingling, you can even lead Mega Absol, which going second's not that bad. And then you have double Dino in the deck that you could lead with, right? So most of the time, you're not leading with INDEEDEE, and that's the whole point of Chingling in the deck. It just gives you a more consistent lead-off option. But comment down below, let me know what you guys think of this video. One of my favorite decks right now to play, and I would heavily recommend that people play Hydreigon like this. Anything to kind of even the playing field with Suicune dominating the current metagame right now. I also like Decidueye. I do also love Decidueye. I've been saying it for weeks now. Altaria, Blaziken, those are decks that are kind of struggling right now just because they don't do very well into Suicune and Greninja. And that is... that's always a difficult thing. You know what I mean? I think certain decks become good and they become popular, but they don't necessarily do well into Suicune, Greninja, and then you allow that deck to come back up into the metagame. So try out this new version of Hydreigon. Let me know what you guys think. Very common. We did see it on the ranked ladder, of course, in this few games that we played. So definitely go and check it out. But anyway, guys, peace out. Have a good one. We'll see you guys later. And yeah, bye.